How do I use the law of attraction to build my dream life? You asked for it, and here I am creating that video for you today. So, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Tejal Chopra, and I'm going to go deeper into my way of using law of attraction, right from where my journey began to what I do today. Let's get into it. Cool. So before I get into what I'm doing on a daily basis, how my journey with the law of attraction began was long back when I was in my 8th standard. My mentor at that time told me about this concept of law of attraction and asked me to read this book known as The Secret. And guys, you won't believe that book changed my life. I couldn't wait to go buy that book and start reading, and once I started, I couldn't put it down because that concept was foreign to me. It was never taught to me as a kid in school or at home that something like that exists. And let me tell you something, how I was as a kid was I was very tenacious, hardworking, and I got good grades and all of that, but as a person I was always on the negative line of thoughts. Like I was always overthinking, always being fearful of scenarios that might happen. So I know with overthinking, a lot of you might agree. It happens with me right now as well. Overthinking is an ongoing journey, but what has changed is my way of dealing with it. And I'll come a little bit more on it later on. But essentially, that was the person that I was before The Secret or the law of attraction came into my world. I was scared of these unseen scenarios of what might happen on a very human basis, like not off the top of my head all the time, but it was somewhere deep down in my consciousness that that was like an ongoing stream of thoughts at the back end. So ever since I began with my journey with the law of attraction, what changed primarily was that I was able to recognize these scenarios and all of these thought trains that began, and I could actually acknowledge it, that this is what I'm thinking. So what if I'm thinking in a negative way that could create a negative version of that in my life? So I could identify it and hence change my thoughts. And the only thing that I'd say triggered me to do that was the concept or the feeling of what is the side effect of trying this. So like when I started reading and this concept of how your thoughts become things and how like attracts like a magnet, we've studied, I was a science student, so I knew this stuff. But how all of this comes together, everyone can be skeptical about it. I was also a little, I wanted to believe, but not having seen any evidence of it around me consciously, I wasn't sure. So the only thing that I thought in my head at the time was, what is the negative side of trying this? None, right? What is the side effect of thinking good thoughts? What is the side effect of feeling good and feeling happy about what I'm doing or I want to do on an everyday basis? None, right? So literally I had nothing that was stopping me from trying this out and giving it a genuine try. By genuine, I mean I was 100% behind it when I was trying to acknowledge and change the pattern of my thoughts, and that is what changed my life. Because negative thoughts used to come earlier, negative thoughts still came, but my way of dealing with it changed because I could identify this thing is pulling me in the wrong direction, which would lead to another negative thought and another negative thought. And why go in that direction when that doesn't make me feel good? The only thing that I used as a metric here was that I didn't feel good about it, so I started changing it. I started canceling those negative scenarios in my head. I started stopping the train of thought to go anywhere from there. I instead replaced it with a positive thought. Not necessarily about the same thing, because when you are thinking negatively about something, it's not as easy to replace it with a counter positive thing about the same thing because you're not sure about that thing, right? So instead, I would think about other positive thoughts. I would think about what am I grateful for? What do I have? What am I blessed with? So gratitude became a major part of it for me to pivot, which I now realize when I look back. And also all the other positive scenarios in my head. I started visualizing. I started feeling good about the things that I did not allow myself to be earlier. Because I don't know how you were raised, but generally in our society, you're not allowed to be too happy about things. Now it has changed. I'm so happy that it has. But earlier on, it was always like you don't have to show your emotions. You can be happy but subtly. So realizing the fact that we are actually here to just enjoy our lives and have fun changed that game for me. And I have talked more about my journey with law of attraction in a short video I did years ago. It's a hot favorite, people love watching on my channel. I'll link that video here and you can catch it. But now I will move on to actually what do I do today. Before I do that, I would love to know, have you read this book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, or have you watched the movie? drop me a comment below and I would love to know. Now, moving on to what I do right now in the present. So, I just written some thoughts before I sat and recorded this video. It's not a super structured one, but I wanted to know what I wanted to share with you so that I don't continue rambling on, because in the topic of law of attraction, manifestation, overthinking, all of this stuff, I can ramble on and on and on because I have so many stories, but I'm not going to bore you with that today. Let me know on different aspects of my life, whether that's scoring good grades or changing my self-image, changing my body, making great money, getting a dream job, moving on to create a business of my dreams, living the life on my own terms. So I have like tons of stories. If you want to know about anything else or more about my journey with it, drop a comment and I would love to record a separate video on it. But now what I do on an everyday basis is not very structured. So I love taking out some time for myself every morning. In that, there is one specific law of attraction thing that I love to do, which is just reading this book, which is The Daily Teachings by Rhonda Byrne again. It has an everyday message for you, and I love starting my day with that so that it kind of brings me back from whatever I'm thinking in the morning to actually be centered around this concept and around this idea with different notes. So it has a daily note. You can read 1, 2, 3, many. I always prefer reading one to start my day. Even if some days I'm not able to do it in the morning itself because of a schedule change, I'm not too strict about doing it at a particular time in a particular way or only at my desk or only in my bed, nothing like it. I can go and read it in my bed. I can do it in my balcony. I can do it here in my office or literally any place. I just like reading it. And some days when I have more time on the hand, I actually grab a book like either The Secret, The Power, The Hero, and I just read a few pages of it. Some days when I want something specific from it, I know where to go, so I just open that page and start. Other days when I'm more like, universe or God, whoever you believe in, I believe in God, so I call out to my higher power. I ask him for direction as to what you want me to what message do you want me to read today? So after saying that, I open the book and it exactly opens where it shares with me what I need for today. So I just read a few pages. Again, I'm not too strict about it. Some days when I'm too much into it, I might read 10 pages. Some days maybe 2-3 pages. Some days more. And some days none of it. Like for the last few days, I think I've not read any other books apart from this. This is a practice that goes on. But I've not read any other books as such. But I think last week I was reading The Secret. Before that, I've not read The Hero for a long time, by the way. This reminds me, I'm going to pick it up today itself. So it's more of a practice of what I've created for myself. Other than that, there are a lot of other practices that I follow here and there, like not too strict about doing it in a way, because I don't like feeling stuck doing this. Because if this also has to be an action item that has to be completed and you're feeling stressed about it, I feel that the energy changes. If you're doing it from a place of I want to do this, it bubbles. It feels very different and it doesn't feel like a chore, which I think is the energy behind true manifestation. I'll share one of the examples with you as well of how some things I have not manifested easily because of my constant thought that it has not happened, and how the others were so effortless that I never really realized that I wanted it or I asked for it. It was just that I desired and it happened. So I'll share more about that also. But coming back to the practices of law of attraction, so I do vision boarding. I do it as a physical vision board. I have it in my office. I'll show you a sneak peek. I've not done it for this year yet in terms of the vision board physically, but I've done a vision board on my Pinterest. So I create a secret board on Pinterest. So that it's not publicly available. And this was a practice that I think I saw in some video that they do it differently for every year because every year looks different. So I create a separate board. I had a separate board for 2023 and now I have a separate board for this year 2024, which I think is almost done. But if I see something else that I feel inclined to include it in my year, I would add, and similarly I would subtract. But that is specifically an exercise that I've done already. Again, if you want to know more about vision boarding physically or in a journal or in the laptop or in my phone on my Pinterest, let me know and I can create a video on it. But that's what I do. I also have done practices of affirmations. I do meditation when I'm walking, sometimes in the morning when I'm sitting. I've done guided meditations while I'm walking in the evening, at night, in the morning, or I'm sitting before I start my work, or I'm in the kitchen making something. So it's like, basically, I use this app called Superhuman. Again, this is not sponsored, but I love that app. And It has meditation for you doing any chore and based on any mood you have. Sometimes you need to be hyped, sometimes you want a calming effect on you. So it has a lot of different meditations, which now they call activations, which you can use to bring yourself back to knowing that you're creating your future and not from a place of, jo ho raha hai mere sath. That is what I feel is the power about law of attraction, because it gives you the power in your hand. So with your thoughts you're creating it, and all you need to do to create something you want is to feel good about it. And that is the law of attraction summed up literally. So yeah, coming back again, like I told you, I do affirmations, I do meditations. Again, none of it is like in a seamless fashion that every day I have to do affirmations. Some days I write affirmations, the other days I just go back and read those affirmations to myself, whether it's for my health, wealth, relationships, business, money, body, weight, anything. So for whatever it is, I have written down a lot of affirmations on different days, and now I go back and sometimes I'm just reading it. Likewise, another law of attraction or manifestation practice is of scripting. That is, you script something from the future based on different prompts. You can use it, you script it out, and some people do it as a daily exercise, some people more so weekly. Again, like I say, I'm not too strict with any of it. I have done scripting on certain days, I do it after a couple of months based on different scenarios or different prompts, and then the other months I actually go back and read through those things to make sure that it's settled in my mind or my head when I'm starting my day. And sometimes when I'm not able to do it right in the start, I do it at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. Again, like I said, I'm not too strict about it. I do it when I feel good about it and not as something that has to be a compulsory thing for me. Some days when I wake up with a temper, or I know that I'm feeling bad about something, I know I have to change from that frequency so that I don't ruin the rest of my day. And for that, I will do some additional practices, which I may not do every single day. But there are certain things that I do every day, like reading that book, and more or less meditations also I try and do every day. So that keeps me grounded and that keeps me centered around what I want. And yes, ongoing on this channel, I would be happy to share more practices that I experiment with and do, and maybe share some scripting prompts or things like that if you want. And as I'm documenting my strategies for you. I would be happy to document this side of my world as well. So basically, what is the process that's followed in law of attraction is the concept of ask, believe, and receive. It's a 3-step process wherein first you get clear on what you want. Second, you decide and you believe that this is going to be true for me and this is coming my way and this is happening for me. You don't have to doubt yourself. And third is to you to receive effortlessly. Of course, action can be a part of it, but not that it feels bad, not that it feels that you have to act on things and ye nahi karna chahte phir bhi karna padega. It's not. The action that is a part of this is known as inspired action. It doesn't have to feel bad or negative to you. One thing I would like to add here is that whatever I have not fret upon has been very easy for me to manifest. Some things super subconsciously even. Like I never realized I was asking for it. I just loved it so much that it happened for me, and that was not a small thing. I'm talking about this house. One of the things that happened with me was I visited this friend's house back in 2019 2020, and I loved her house. Like, she was staying in such a fun part of the city. Like, fun, by fun I mean like calm and a beautiful society, which was also like not very noisy. She had a lot of space to create content, and I loved it at her place. So much so that I was so happy for her. I never really asked for it, because I was in that point of my career at that time that I was not thinking of, having a dream house kind of a thing. It was not in my mind even, but I loved it at her house. I was very happy for her, and I came back and I continued living my life. And the very next year, this house manifested for me in ways which I am not sharing here with you, but they were never really planned for. And I had never put out an ask for that kind of a house or this kind of an interiors which I have right now. So all of this is a dream scenario. I really loved it so much. I had a desire, maybe subconsciously I had an ask, but consciously I didn't. And I never had any doubts about anything because I never asked for it. So it was as easy as that. And the day that I moved in here, the day that the interiors were done, I actually realized that this was something I manifested. And this is only, the thought of the realization is what made me connect the dots. If I would have not realized that this is something I've manifested, I would have lived like that itself. So that's what happened for me. That's how it's transpired. Likewise, I have manifested a lot of stuff without fretting too much about it. But the things that I think constantly about sometimes, or fret too much about कि ये नहीं हुआ है अभी तक, or I want to see evidence of it happening, I kind of tend to push it away. So my pro tip here would be, or my suggestion here would be, that when you want to manifest anything with the law of attraction, you do the practice of ask, believe, receive. You let it out there in the universe, or to your God, or in your prayer, whatever you do, and then you forget about it. Like, by forget, I don't really mean wipe it off from your mind, but don't constantly be thinking about it कि ये हुआ नहीं हुआ. Again, like if it's something that you're doing that you have to measure, तो रोज रोज measure करके you feel bad about it not being there, that is actually manifesting the opposite of what you want, because you're constantly seeing the evidence of that. And that is something that I'm still working on. So as I learn more about it, I will share more. But that is something I wanted to share with you, that once you set out on an ask, just let it go out there and don't constantly think about it. Just go at it with your regular day and do other practices. Gratitude journaling has helped me so much. I don't do it as a daily practice anymore. I used to. When I used the magic, it was a practice that was a part of it, and I sort of continued doing it for so long. I think I've done it for years together when I used to do gratitude journaling every single day. I've not done it, but this video makes me rethink that I want to start that practice, because truly I'm blessed to have so much in life. So many times we don't realize all of that we've achieved or we've been blessed with. And a practice of daily or weekly, whatever you prefer, again, no strict rule to it, whatever you prefer, pick that frequency. But when you do it on an everyday basis, you kind of realize the blessings that you have. They make you attract even more, but you don't do it from that place कि मुझे ये करना है क्योंकि मुझे ये चीज़ चाहिए. It's more like कि when you think about those things that you're grateful for, those people that you're grateful for, those experiences you're grateful for, you feel differently about it. You feel blessed. You feel so happy. And that is the crux of everything. When you feel happy, automatically what you want, you are attracting that for you. And with that, I would like to end this video. Again, if you want me to go deeper on any of the things that I've shared with you, vision boarding, scripting, prompts, things I've manifested, like something like getting a grade of 10 as CGPA in one of my college semesters, or the percentage I got in 12th, the money that I make, this house I've already talked about today, or working on my body image and other things. So anything you want to know more of, just drop a comment, and I would love to take that up as a new topic and record a video on it for you. If you liked this video and would like to continue on this journey with me, wherein I share more about my business, my world, my strategies, law of attraction, the secret, other things that I've used. Basically, I'm here to document and reflect upon things and let you know what works for me and what doesn't. So if you'd like to be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, and definitely if you enjoyed this video, drop a comment here. I will see you in the next video. Bye.